I just finished watching the last two episodes of season 3 of The Sopranos, A Morphu and The Army of One. It sparked a question in my head. What do these situations, especially with Jackie Jr., tell us about the Mafia? And I want to speak briefly about AJ as well, but mainly about Jackie Jr. and what we learned from him at the end of the season. This season, especially the latter half, mainly revolves around Jackie Jr.'s yearn to be a respected gangster like his late father. But he's really full of shit. His whole personality is just, yo, my father this, my father that. He's the boss. You gotta respect me, blah, blah, blah. And, he's like one of those. Like, I get Jackie April. It's Jackie April. That's his father. But it's like, bro, he's a dick rider for his father. I gotta keep it 100. He moves like he should be respected like a boss because his father was a boss. But that's not really how it works. And the thing is, like, when you talk like that, it makes people respect you even less than they already did before. Jackie Jr. is not a gangster. He don't do no gangster shit. In reality, like, even at the end of the season when he gets himself, spoiler alert, when he gets himself killed, even the shit that he was doing that he thought was some gangster shit was not some gangster shit. Bro, you're gonna rob the school benefits concert? You know what I mean? Essentially, he's basically like a naive, wide-eyed kid. But I don't know, like, I wouldn't even say the type that watches, like, too many gangster movies. Because I don't even think he be on, like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I'm he's not the brightest up there. The light in everyone's head that we all got, shit ain't glistening up there. Like, it's not, it's kind of dim. One night at dinner, Ralph was telling him and his friend a story about how Jackie Sr. and Tony robbed a card game, and that basically put them on the map for getting made. Fish Lamana, who actually shows up later in the show in season 5, ran a card game, and Tony, Ralph, Jackie, and I don't know who else was in their group, planned to rob it. Due to, and I quote, a bitch giving him the clap, Ralph couldn't make it, and essentially they robbed the card game without him. The right people got their money back, the right people were spoken to, everything was forgiven. And the respect factor for Tony and Jackie went up crazy, and obviously they eventually became bosses later in life. Jackie Jr. hears this story and comes up with the bright idea to rob a card game with hopes of getting on the same fast track to getting made. He convinces his friends to do it, and this is very funny because it shows, like, who Jackie Jr. really is at his core. Because he had to convince his friends to say yes. Like, I ain't gonna lie, he spent all day trying to convince his friends. And then, his friends were low-key thinking kind of rationally about it. They were like, I don't think that's a good idea. They weren't receptive to it. Eventually, he just convinces them, and they go on. They go out, they start heading towards the card game, and right when they're about to do it, when they got the ski mask on and everything, they got the gun, they got the whole rundown, you feel me? They got the whole plan. Jackie takes off his mask, and he's like, are you sure you want to do it? Man, it's scary ass, man. So his friends are now looking at him like, damn, like, he's really a bitch. And they just look disappointed, honestly. Especially bro in the front. Eventually they were just like, yo, let's just go do this shit before the crank wears off. Yeah, they were high too. I mean, shit. Bro, I'm gonna keep it 100. The world is so crazy. Like, if you indulged anything, I don't mind. Not that my mind should matter to you or not, but let's keep going. They bust open the card game, and we see Christopher, we see Furio, we see Eugene. I think it's his game, actually. We see Patsy. We see, what's bro's name? Sunshine. You feel me? We'll get back to Sunshine, because I ain't gonna lie, he was going crazy. I said Patsy, right? Yo, is that Patsy, or what's his brother's name? Philly? I be getting them confused sometimes, because it's literally the same actor that plays them. Well, no, they killed Philly. Yeah, in season 1. So basically, they try to do the stick up, and they're being warned, like, yo, like, this is a low-level game, right? Like, it's just not a good look. And Sunshine over here, he's talking, and he spins some, like, motivation, not motivational, but, like, life quotes in the air right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's going crazy, and, when you're robbing someone, that's the last thing you're trying to listen to. So I guess bro just got fed up, and he just shot Sunshine. So now he's dead. A whole shootout erupts. Chrissy got his gun. Furio's getting active. They start shooting, and someone shoots Furio in the groin. So now he's fucked up. And I'm gonna keep it 100. This whole video, I've been referring to them as his friends. I watched The Sopranos like maybe 20 times in full, bro. And nowadays, I just like randomly just watch random episodes. I don't know. But I don't know either of Jackie Jr.'s friends' names. And I'm going to be honest with you, like, they're so stupid. Like, I don't even want to research what their name is. The getaway driver, as soon as he heard shots, he skirt off. So now Jackie Jr. and bro run out the spot after killing somebody and injuring a maid guy and just shooting at other maid guys, have no car to hop into right now. And this is the most Jackie part. Like, I really meant to say janky, but this is Jackie. This shit is Jackie. Because he sees a woman driving a car and he basically GTAs her. He knocks open the door, pulls her out, steals her car, and this is the most important part. Because this shows, like, I'm going to say it again, this shows who Jackie Jr. is to his core. He gets in the car, and it's not like he's already driving the opposite direction. He's driving towards where his friend is, and the friend is jumping like, yo, bro, Jackie, come get me, man, da da da. He didn't say that, but that's, nigga, he's doing jumping jacks and everything, right? You know what Jackie Jr. does? He skirts past his friend, and his friend is like, oh, fuck, I'm cooked. And yeah, he is cooked, because bro turns around and gets 2 shots to the head. And for a minute, we don't know where Jackie goes, but it doesn't matter. He's cooked. Keep another thing in mind. Ralph is dating his mom. So, make what you will of that. But essentially, Ralph he's on the hook for this because he's basically the boy's stepdad. And, Jackie's, like, under him. Like, Jackie's under his wing. He's under Tony's wing, too, and Tony is definitely, like, a bigger influence on Jackie. At least, like, in a respect factor. But he never listened to Tony because Tony told him to go back to school and not be on this gangster shit, and he just wouldn't listen. So now he's still sold drugs, still trying to be a tough guy, blah, 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 right? Essentially, Jackie's on the run because he shot at multiple May guys and killed a friend of a friend, or a friend of ours. I don't know that thing well. And Tony was already mad at him because he already was on some dumb shit. The scenes where Tony is speaking to Ralph about what to do about this are amazing. And he's basically telling Ralph, like, you got to do what you got to do. But he says it in a way where it's like he has complete, like, plausible deniability. Because he's speaking in a way to where he's not saying what he has to do at all. But he's really saying, yo, you got to kill that motherfucker. Ralph basically gets the message and knows what he has to do. When it comes to Rosalie and breaking the news to her, like, they did it in phases. Because at first, before they knew what to do with him, he was just on the run. So they had to tell her, like, yo, like, he got a drug problem. He owes some drug dealers some money. You know what I mean? And, he's still savable. And then they just get Vito to, pop him in the head. Pause. Jackie ended up hiding out in the projects with my nigga Michael K. Williams and the smart little girl playing chess. She whooped his ass. Another insightful scene was when Jackie actually calls Tony and asks for his help. Tony is tired of this fucking kid, bro. Like, he tried everything he could. After denying Jackie, bro tries to plead by saying, well, you guys did the same thing. And Tony tells him to spot the difference between, and I quote, us and them, he said. Or us and you. This is an interesting part of organized crime. The politics. Not politics like policy, but like the social environment aspect of it. Status, relationships, reputation, respect, and how that affects what you can and can't get away with. Everyone really in this world understands this intrinsically because the wheel always keeps moving and it doesn't stop for anybody. There's moving parts and everyone is trying to move up. The truth is, Jackie Jr. is not young Tony and he's certainly not his father. All Jackie Jr. proved by robbing the card game is just confirming what everyone thought about him to begin with. A fucking dumbass. He almost drowned in 3 feet of water. And yeah, bro went outside one time and then got popped. But that's why I wanted to make this video, because of the reaction to it. Because I really feel like this tells us how the Mafia works. The scenes with Meadow and Jackie's family, like his sister and his cousin, are my favorite. Jackie's sister suggests that the Mafia killed him, and it makes Meadow irate. She's blasting her about the hypocrisy and also speaking about this with outsiders. Because, the cousin was there, and she has no ties. So Meadow was like, yo, do you not have loyalty to the family? And essentially, Meadow goes back to say that he was killed by a drug dealer. And I find this scene interesting because while the point that Meadow's making to Jackie's sister in terms of, like, how you can't go against the family, like, I feel that, like, family, loyalty, I don't know. I agree 100% Like, I understand why Meadow feels the way she feels, but at the same time, it's interesting because Jackie's sister is right. Carmela's more interesting because while I think Meadow actually believes the story, I don't know if Carmela believes it because Carmela is fully aware how this shit works. Do you think Carmela genuinely believes that Jackie Jr. was killed by a black drug dealer in the projects, or did the family have something to do with it? Let me know what y'all think. I might make a video on that. That's a whole video in itself, because there's so many layers there. Damn, I just love when I'm making a video and then a video idea pops up. Oh my god, it's the greatest. This is one of the first times we see the seeds of Meadow's future in regards to, how she really feels about the family business. And it certainly does drastically affect her thinking and actions by the end of the show. Think about, like, I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but think about her aspirations in terms of what she studies in school, her attitude towards, her family and what they do for a living. Like, think about season 1. Think about college, the episode College specifically, and then, her energy throughout the seasons before Jackie died, after Jackie died, and then, later in, like, season 5 and 6. It's an interesting trajectory. We might cover that as well. At the funeral, Rosalie makes a profound point. She said, you would think that there was a time that Jackie was a boss. Because even Junior said it too. If Jackie was alive and still kicking and still the boss of the family, this place would be filled to the rafters. It just tells you that this life is fake. When you're a high respected figure, like, they respect you out of fear. And then when they don't have to respect you anymore, they don't. Like, even at the end of the series, when Tony's now in the hospital fighting for his life, we see Vito and Paulie arguing over the money that they're supposed to give Carmela. Paulie is trying his hardest to keep all that money. And it just goes to show, like, in this life, no matter how many years of friendship, loyalty, like, we don't even got to talk about the snitching aspect, because, that's been done like 100 times. I'm more interested in, like, the subtle stuff. At the end of the day, everyone's for self, and it's honestly sad. So yeah, Jackie Jr. gets popped. Meanwhile, AJ gets expelled from school, and this is the thing about AJ, because honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna say, like, both Jackie Jr. and AJ are dumb or stupid. AJ is not necessarily dumb, but at the same time, I don't know, he be acting like a bitch sometimes, honestly. But I feel like, besides the fact that he died, you're better off being AJ than Jackie Jr. They're both not cut out for this life, but Jackie Jr. has an attitude that makes him even more dangerous, or in a more dangerous position than AJ, even though AJ is less about that life than he is. Because don't get me wrong, AJ has his problems too, and he goes through a lot by the end of the series, but he ends up cool. What I love about The Sopranos is, like I said with Meadow earlier, the seeds are already being planted for the climax of all these characters' arcs. Like, it's very interesting when you're watching it back versus, like, watching it for the first time all the way through. Tony and Carmela end up fighting about where they want to send him to school because he got expelled from the other one. Tony wants him to go to military school, and Carmela's disagreeing with that. They're fighting about it for the whole episode, damn near. But after seeing Jackie Jr. get killed, Carmela was just like, yo, fuck it. We could try it your way. And then at the very last minute, when they're actually about to send him, they find out he has panic attacks like Tony, so now they can't even send him. We're at an interesting point in AJ's character, because, he's getting a little older. He's like in that middle age where he's about to be 18, and he has no idea what he wants to do, and he's honestly like, he's a spoiled kid. He never really had to work hard for anything. So it's like, damn, like, what am I about to do? And then we all see, like, his later struggles later on in the series. But then, I don't know, he ends up all right, I guess. He got that movie job. Because I'm not going to lie, he might be still fucked up. Because at the end of the series, he's like 20, 21. Bro is dating a 16-year-old. You can't, I don't think you could do that. No, you can't do that. Let me check the law. Yeah, you can't do that. No. 21, 16? No. Bro is picking her up from high school. Hell no. And what's up with him, like, not being with girls his own age? Like, he either got a girl that's like 10 years older, like Blanca, or whatever her name is from high school. That's crazy. Like, I swear, at the end, I was always so confused about that. At the end of the series, like, I swear it looks like it's looking up for AJ, kind of, right? He seems like somewhat content with life at the end of the show. All that development he went through, all that bullshit he went through, and then now he's with a 16-year-old. Like, how do you want us to take that? Like, bro's in the M3 picking her up from high school. Like, I know I keep saying that line, but bro, he's picking her up from high school. He might be catching a case later. But yeah, being the kids of people in the mafia, it changes, your development profoundly. And it's kind of like, it's a little different with Meadow because she's a girl. Not on some like misogynistic shit, but I'm just saying, like, for the guy, like, they look at you like in your father's image, and it's obviously like it's men in the mafia. People look at you like you should be next up, or they look at you in your father's image. That might be how you start to look at things. Or you could just be like the total opposite and won't have nothing to do with it. But it's such like a drastic like pendulum swing. The thing with Jackie Jr. is like he just wasn't about shit. And he wanted to be about shit so bad. But I think that's the worst combination, because that ended up getting him killed. Paulie has a beef with Ralph because of a robbery that he handed him. And he basically just set up the whole play and said you can have it. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he didn't just get his own guys to do it. Because that would have been $50,000 for you. And you don't got to split it with Ralph. But I don't know, I guess he was out of men that day. Pause. They left little Paulie outside looking like a jerk off. But basically, Ralph's not trying to give up any of the $50,000. He said, I'll give you $5,000. So he requests a sit down. Paulie needs that money so he can pay for Green Grove, per Tony's recommendation. Tony ends up ruling in Ralph's favor, granting Paulie $12,000. This makes Paulie furious. And it's like he feels cast aside now, because Tony doesn't even like Ralph. But he's also been very favorable to him recently. Because the truth is, back to the loyalty part, like, bro, when you're useful, that's when the people will fuck with you the most. Like, as annoying as Ralph is, as much as Tony hates Ralph, Ralph brings in so much money to the family via construction. And during this time, especially, this is during the Jackie Jr. situation. So along with the scenes with Tony and Ralph talking about how they're going to handle Jackie Jr., I feel like this decision by Tony to grant the money in his favor kind of has something to do with it as well. Because I think he just wants Ralph focused on Jackie Jr. right now. If he would have ruled it with Paulie, Ralph would have had another thing to get fucked up about. And right now, we can't have him thinking about nothing else but what to do with Jackie Jr. I don't know, maybe I'm just pushing that. Like, maybe I'm reaching. I don't know, because a lot of things that happen in this show, and it's the same thing back to the politics stuff in terms of how they make decisions. Because when people say, or when people do stuff, you say they did it because of this. But when it comes to shit like this, they always try to hit 2 or 3 birds with one stone. Always. It's never just one thing. At the same time, Paul just could be on Tony's nerves. Because I'm not going to lie, like, and he was in good faith, but bro, like, Paulie will ask the most like crazy question at the most inconvenient time. Like, as soon as Tony and Carmelo walk into the funeral, like, he don't say hello or nothing. He just brings up the freaking the sit down, and then Tony was like, Jesus Christ, I can't bury my friend's kid. Like Paulie don't give a fuck. It's kind of funny because shit like this happens in like a regular work environment. But the thing that makes it different for the Mafia is that they're supposed to be like family. They're supposed to be taking a pact. Like, these are your brothers. This is life and death with these people. So it makes everything like way more flammable. And when a corporate work environment situation would open up, we see Paulie complaining to Johnny Sack about it. And then his snake ass. Because you know what he does later. But this is my favorite line from Johnny Sack. Paulie was like, how's Carmine? And Johnny was like, he asked about you. No, the fuck he did not. And obviously Paulie finds that out later. But yeah, this is why even later on, like, even Christopher gets disgruntled with Tony and Tony B. Because when Bro comes back from prison, he gets the casino gig. People don't realize or really don't think about the other dangerous parts of organized crime. Because obviously, like, the crime portion of it is what makes it dangerous, which is true. But there's other reasons too. There's other dangers too. There's like social dangers. Because everyone's in this pressure cooker environment with all these different personalities. It's going to be very hard to manage it all. And it's like, just like in real life, you'll probably likely get killed by the person that's to your left. So when that's your environment, it's like, bro, because just look at how many beefs happened that started out of dumb shit. Like when Johnny Sack almost kills Ralph because he made a joke about his wife, which you should not do. And I ain't gonna lie, they're all fake as hell. Like, they're all making jokes about everybody's wives. And we even see, like, with Tony, we see that they even make fun of him. And Carmela points it out to him as well. Like, because I ain't gonna lie, Tony, he ends up just deteriorating himself over the course of the series. And Carmela's right. They laugh at his jokes because he's the boss. If he was not the boss, man. But yeah, the only thing that saved Ralph was the amount of money that he was bringing into the family. If Ralph was just like a regular soldier, like he would have been out of here. So Carmine was basically like, yo, name a price and get the fuck over it. And that's exactly what happened. The main reason why I love The Sopranos, or there's a plethora of reasons, but it shows the reality of the dysfunction in organized crime and what it's really like to live it like on a day-to-day basis. Like Sopranos is basically like a day in the life in the mafia versus like The Godfather, which is like a whole glamorized thing, and then Goodfellas, which is like the rise and fall of a group that's not even like high up. Like these aren't even made guys. These are street level guys. And oh my god, I'm about to cover that movie. That movie is so good. Oh my god. Hey, y'all want a Goodfellas video? Comment down below. Appreciate the love of my first video. It's my first video, so I didn't, expect it to get that many, views and comments. So enough rambling. I'll see y'all next time. Like the video, comment, subscribe. Peace.